Good evening again, my friends. Good evening, Singaporeans. My name is Roy Ngerng, and I am a candidate for the Ang Mo Kio GRC under the Reform Party. Now last year, thank you. Last year, I spoke to a man. His father had cancer. I asked the man how he is doing. He told me that things are difficult. The man told me that once his father needed to go to the hospital urgently, but the family was scared. Their hospital bills were going to be very expensive. Their father needed money, needed to go to the hospital urgently, but the family knew that they did not have enough money. They would not be able to pay for the high hospital bills. So the family decided to wait, even though it was very urgent. They first called up the hospital to find out how much the bill would cost. It would cost tens of thousands of dollars. Then they started calling their relatives and friends to ask for money, and even beg for more money. But it was too late. The father passed away because he got to the hospital too late. The family was devastated. Now this is our world-class healthcare system. Can see, but cannot touch, cannot eat. What is the point if our hospitals look like 5-star hotel when our Singaporeans cannot afford to pay for them? Now the hospitals look so pretty, but they're only good for the PAP to show off to the other countries. Now when Singaporeans fall sick, what do we need? We need to get well. But when we cannot afford to go to the hospital, how can we get well? 那3个月，我跟一个女士谈，她跟我说她的故事。那她的妈妈也有癌症。那他们的家庭要还她妈妈的医药费的时候，他们想用他们的保健储蓄来还。但是医院跟他们说，你只能用几百块。但是他跟医院说，但是我妈妈的保健储蓄里有4万块，为什么我只能还几百块？那他们的医药费1万块，但是他们只能用几百块。那过后，那个女士和她的家人需要一致去找钱，因为他们筹不了钱还那个医药费。那当我在我的 Facebook、我的面部也是叙说这个故事的时候，很多人的父母，还有很多人，他们自己本身也跟我说，他们也经历一样的故事，自己也是还不了钱。虽然保健储蓄率很多钱，但是他们还不了那个钱。那如果保健储蓄率有这么多钱，但是我们不可以拿来用，那保健储蓄里的钱是干嘛的？ Now, what is the responsibility of a government? It is to make sure that the citizens are taken care of. Now, it is not to make money off our citizens. Now, do you know that in 2013, Singaporeans have paid nearly 60 billion into the MediSave? 60 billion, that is 10 zeros. But do you know how much Singaporeans could withdraw from MediSave to use? Less than 1.5%. 1.5%. More than 98% of the MediSave went into surplus for the PAP. Where did our MediSave go? Now, where did our CPF go? Now, the PAP makes us take our MediSave to pay for our MediShield. But where did our MediShield go? Now we will ask the PAP, where is our money? Where is our CPF? Now, has the PAP been responsible to Singaporeans? Now, has the PAP been responsible to Singaporeans? Yesterday, Tharman said at the PAP's rally that the opposition is trying to scaremonger. He said that is just cheap. He called the opposition cheap. Now, he said that there is no country in the world that has been able to provide something for everyone without raising taxes for the middle income group. He also said the PAP is honest. We say what the challenges are. We are quite straight about it. You know what is really honest? The honest truth is that there is no need to raise taxes to provide more for Singaporeans. First, do you know that Singaporeans pay 4 times more indirect tax than personal income tax? This is the highest among the developed countries. Second, do you know that Singaporeans pay 3 times more Social Security or CPF than personal income tax? This is also the highest among the developed countries. Third, do you know that Singaporeans pay 8 times more indirect tax and CPF than personal income tax? This is also the highest among the developed countries. But how much does the PAP return to Singaporeans? For social protection, the PAP only returns less than 50% of what it collects in personal income tax, social security, and indirect tax. This is the lowest among the developed countries. Other high-income countries would return 85%, but the PAP only returns 50%. You know what is cheap? This is cheap. Now first, the PAP collects the most out of Singaporeans, but returns the least. This means that the PAP keeps the most for itself, but does not return Singaporeans' money to Singaporeans. Second, the PAP earns tens of billions in surplus from Singaporeans every year, but it does not openly talk about this to Singaporeans. There's all this money sitting there, all of Singaporeans' money, but the PAP does not talk about it. Yet, the PAP will tell us that the HDB is in deficit when they earn huge profits from our land. But do you know what is even more cheap? The PAP takes our CPF to use and earn profits in the GIC and Temasek holdings, huge profits, but does not return the interest it earns to Singaporeans. Now our CPF is very cheap money for the PAP to earn from. This is what is cheap. The PAP is cheap. Now when the PAP takes our CPF to give GIC to use, but PAP does not want to tell Singaporeans for more than 15 years, and only admitted last year for the very first time that it has taken our money to use in the GIC, this is what is cheap. Now, the Reform Party said that we would provide $500 every month for all elderly Singaporeans aged above 65 on top of the CPF. Why? Now, this is because we want all elderly Singaporeans to be able to retire with dignity, with real dignity. Now, we have calculated that this will cost less than 10% of the current tens of billions in surplus. The Reform Party has done our maths. Who is the one who is fear-mongering among Singaporeans? Reform Party has done our maths. But why does the PAP say we fear-monger? The PAP themselves are the ones who fear-monger among Singaporeans for the past 50 years. The PAP is the one who has collected taxes from Singaporeans but does not return it and tell us that they do not have enough taxes to pay for us. Now, is this right? Now, Tharman said, when you think of free healthcare and free social services. You must realize that it is not free. Of course, we know it's not free. Singaporeans have been the one telling the PAP that you are taking our money. And that's why we're telling the PAP to return our money. Return our CPF. Now, what did the PAP do? The PAP says they're going to spend the money on you. $38 million in Ang Mo to make it look more beautiful. Where does this 38 million come from? It comes from Singaporeans' money. It is the PAP who must realize that when it takes our money to use, it is not free. This is not the PAP's money. This is your money. This is our money. Now enough is enough. Singaporeans do not need the PAP to spend more money to make things to look pretty. We are not vain. We are not like the PAP. Now, Singaporeans, let me ask you one question. If you have $38 million today, would you use it to make Ang Mo Kio look pretty? Or would you use it to protect Singaporeans? Now, of course, Singaporeans know things are not free. We have been paying the money. But does the PAP knows that it is not free? Does the PAP know that when they take our money to pay themselves millions of dollars, it is not free? Does the PAP know that when they take our money to earn huge profits, it is not free? Now, enough is enough. We will no longer take this bullying from the PAP. Enough is enough. Now we have to stand up on our own 2 feet, and we'll tell the PAP, we will no longer take your bullying. Now you sit down, and we will be the ones to tell you what to say and what to do. Because we are the citizens of Singapore. Now, 一个政府，我们可以动动自己的良心。我们需要问一下，政府对新加坡人的责任是什么？当我们看到自己的新加坡人因为不能去医院而需要死，你觉得这是对的吗？那当我们看到自己的新加坡人不可以及时赶到医院而死，这公平吗？当我们看到自己的新加坡人生病而不能看医生，不能去医院，我们还有心跟他们说，你们需要自力更生，你们要自己帮自己吗？那人民行动党，你们还有良心吗？一个政府的责任对新加坡人是什么？当我们看到自己的新加坡人是备受伤害，我们还可以站在一旁不帮他们吗？难道人民行动党没有一颗心吗？那人民行动党，你们的良心跑去哪里了？那人民行动党，你们有没有良心？ Now, where is your heart, the PAP, when we see our own Singaporeans suffer, but we let them suffer? And we tell them that you have to rely on yourself. Self-reliance is when the PAP earns their own money and does not take our own taxpayers' money to pay themselves millions of dollars. That is self-reliance. Self-reliance is paying Singaporeans enough so that we can rely on ourselves and we do not have to rely on the government. Self-reliance is to give Singaporeans a minimum wage so that we can help ourselves. do not tell Singaporeans to rely on ourselves when you do not even give us enough to rely on ourselves. Then that is just selfish. Now, we do not hate the PAP. But we Singaporeans believe that the government has a responsibility to its citizens. Our government has to take care of its Singaporeans. When we see our citizens suffer, we cannot stand by and let that happen. Now, we cannot. As Singaporeans, as citizens, we have a duty to stand up and speak up for our country. We have a responsibility to fight for our citizens. Now, my friends, it is time for us to stand up and take our country back. Now it is time to use our hands to take back our land. Now it is time we stop the PAP from bullying Singaporeans. It is time to stand and fight back. For far too long, we have been taking this sitting down. We have let the PAP run us down while we keep quiet. Now enough. Enough. It is enough. No more bullying. It is time we give the PAP their own medicine. It is time we make the PAP the opposition. It is time we let the PAP know what it feels like to keep talking but not be heard. It is time we let the PAP know how it feels like to not have a voice. Now it is time we take back our parliament so that Singaporeans, we can go into parliament to debate on policies and to make policies to protect all of us, to protect Singaporeans. Singaporeans, I will be your MP. We will be your MP. We will be your voice in Parliament. Now I will look at evidence, facts, and information. I will put them together. And I will propose solutions so that we can improve the lives of Singaporeans. Because all of us, regardless of our income level, regardless of who we are, we all matter in this country. Now we will fight for Singapore, and we will fight together with you. Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Now it is time we fight for our own dignity. It is time we fight for our own pride. It is time we regain our land. And it is time we regain our lives. And it is time we regain what belongs to Singaporeans in Singapore, in our homeland. Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Majulah Singapura! Now on 11 September, when you go to the ballot box, vote for us. Vote for Reform Party. Mark a cross next to the Reform Party. Remember our faces. We will work for you. We will fight for a brighter future tomorrow, today. Vote for us. Vote for Reform Party. Thank you.